In a night charged with electricity, under the glare of stadium lights and the roars of an adrenaline-fueled crowd, the much-anticipated showdown between Moon Lee and Marko Zaror finally unfolded. It wasn't just a clash of fists and kicks, it was a meeting of two distinct martial arts philosophies, two towering personalities, and an unstoppable wave of suspense that kept every spectator on the edge of their seat. Moon Lee, the shadow dancer as fans often call her, is a master of fluid movement and speed. Trained in wushu and contemporary martial arts, Moon's style blends grace and precision, turning every kick into a flicker of motion and every strike into a blur. She is known for her almost supernatural agility, darting in and out of her opponent's reach like a ghost. Her greatest strength lies in her unpredictability, a flurry of acrobatic flips and feints that leave her adversaries guessing. However, with this reliance on movement, Moon's weakness lies in her lack of raw power. Against larger, physically stronger opponents, she often has to rely on stamina and tactics to outlast rather than overpower. On the other side of the ring stood Marko Zaror, a human juggernaut of muscle and discipline. Dubbed the Latin Dragon, Marko's martial arts foundation is built on a fierce combination of taekwondo, kickboxing, and stunt fighting. His attacks are powerful, his strikes bone-crushing, and his presence alone is intimidating. At 6 feet 2 inches, Marko towers over most competitors, using his reach and strength to dominate. His signature moves, spinning back kicks and brutal elbow strikes, have ended many fights in a matter of seconds. But Marko's reliance on his strength can be a double-edged sword. His movements, while strong, lack the fluidity of Moon's style. Faster, more agile opponents have sometimes exploited this by outmaneuvering him. From the opening bell, the contrast in their styles was glaringly obvious. Moon Lee darted around Marko like a whirlwind, launching quick side kicks to his ribs and landing a few sharp jabs to his jaw. The crowd roared with every slick move she made, her agility mesmerizing in the heat of combat. But Marko stood his ground, absorbing the lighter strikes as though they were mere inconveniences. He waited like a predator stalking prey, biding his time for the perfect moment to strike. And strike he did. In the second round, Marko unleashed a thunderous roundhouse kick that barely missed Moon's head, the sheer force of it sending a gust of wind rippling through her hair. It was a wake-up call for Moon, a reminder that Marko's power was not to be underestimated. The fight began to shift from a cat-and-mouse game to a more brutal exchange. Marko cornered Moon against the ropes, landing a devastating body shot that visibly shook her. The crowd gasped, the impact echoed like a drumbeat through the arena. But Moon wasn't done yet. Summoning her reserves of speed, she slipped away from Marko's onslaught, countering with a perfectly timed spinning hook kick that caught him across the temple. For a brief moment, Marko staggered, the great dragon momentarily stunned. It seemed as though Moon might turn the tide, but Marko's endurance proved unyielding. With an almost animalistic roar, he regrouped and, in a flash, landed a brutal combination, a knee strike to Moon's ribs followed by an elbow to her shoulder. The final moments of the match were a heart-pounding blend of Moon's relentless speed and Marko's raw power. Yet, it was Marko Zaror's ability to withstand Moon's agile strikes while capitalizing on his own strength that ultimately led to his victory. In a breathtaking finale, Marko landed a crushing spinning back kick to Moon's midsection, sending her sprawling to the mat. She attempted to rise, but the damage was done. The referee's count echoed through the arena and Moon, with a warrior's spirit, tried to push herself back onto her feet. But as the count hit 10, it was clear, Marko Zaror had won the fight. His victory wasn't just about strength, it was about strategy. Marko absorbed Moon's flurry of attacks without losing focus, waiting for the perfect moments to counter with devastating precision. Though Moon's speed was a formidable weapon, it could not outweigh Marko's calculated use of force. In the end, it was a fight that transcended mere sport. It was a battle of philosophy, finesse versus strength, speed versus power. And on this unforgettable night, the Latin Dragon roared the loudest.